Speaking of that, make sure you keep watching. So we're going to start our labor poll segment. And just for those of you that don't know, at the end of every episode, if you submit your questions, anything regarding labor, could be labor history, concrete questions about strategy, anything, I will do my best to answer them in the next episode. I'll have a good 2 weeks to look up, make sure I kind of know what I'm talking about. So feel free to be submitting them now in the chat. But Ariella, if you have some questions to you.
Yeah, let me read some labor poll questions. I'm sorry I don't have who they're from, but if they're from you, you know who you are. All right. As a rank and file organizer, how much energy do you put towards internal union politics at the regional, state, national level? Is it useful to regularly use resolutions from locals to conventions? How much effort do you put into state/national union elections? That's a big question.
Right. Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think it's helpful to remember that it all starts at home. And you first have to be concerned with organizing and consolidating your base in your own union local and your own workplace. And that's where everything starts, and you branch out from there. And I think looking at the Chicago Teachers Union is instructive for this. So, over 10 years ago, members in that union started a caucus. They won leadership. They started reforming the union. They won some high-profile strikes over the years that made gains for the membership. And since then, CTU has been able to heavily influence national AFT, American Federation of Teachers, and inspire a lot of other locals in the country to follow their path. But it all started with their ability to make gains in their own local. And so if you don't have much power or influence, when I say you, it doesn't come down to one union activist, but like as a local, you don't have powerful influence at the local level, you won't be able to really do much at the national level. And so as far as union elections, they usually happen either for your locals leadership or at the national level, not necessarily regionally. But I think these are important to engage in, especially if there is something at stake and there is a good slate or candidate running that you think can positively impact the direction of the union. And just like political elections, union elections are a chance to highlight certain issues and talk with members about the strategic direction the union can go in. And I'll highlight an example that we actually didn't get to talk about with Richard, but in 1991, Ron Carey was elected national president of the Teamsters. And it was partly because of his leadership and his slate that the successful 1997 UPS strike happened, which is you look at the last 30 years, probably one of the best examples of a successful national private sector strike in this country. So they do have real consequences. And then finally, I think about the resolutions, also a really good question. I think they're good as an organizing tool to raise issues and get institutional backing for projects you want to do. So, but I think you should be careful about what Mark Dudzik from the Labor Campaign for Single Payer calls a resolutionary politics. Because at the end of the day, a resolution is really just a piece of paper. And so the important part is to follow through to turn the resolution into a reality. But they are important for generating discussion among the membership about important issues. And if it passes, now you have an institutional basis for getting resources from the union to carry out whatever that resolution is.
I look flustered because I had to get my computer charger. So I just ran back, but I missed your answer. So you can tell me later.
Right.
All right. The second question. What kind of workplace has the most potential for getting organized right now during the pandemic?
So I think it depends on what you mean by potential. I think there are many workplaces where most workers want a union, but they may still not be powerful enough or organized to get one. But as it relates to the pandemic, I think workplaces where there's a combination of COVID really revealing the great need for a union as it relates to health and safety, and where there's a lot of public support. So I think healthcare and especially nursing jumps out to me. And already before the pandemic, nursing was actually the fastest unionizing sector in the country. And there has been even more interest among non-union nurses now with the pandemic and all that they've been put through. And I think they can capitalize on the fact that they have been rightly deemed heroes during all of this, and they can get the public support. And I think maybe another sector we should watch out for is grocery store workers. Um, Grocery stores used to be heavily unionized, but as all unions have declined, more and more non-union grocery stores chains have come in. But they have also been part of the essential worker heroes, and I feel like many of them are realizing or acting on the fact that they deserve a lot more after this experience. And I think the big, I guess, elephant in the room is places like Amazon. With obviously online shopping growing. But obviously they have immense obstacles against a company like Amazon. So, I mean, I'm very interested to see how things play out in Alabama. I think we're going to be talking about trying to organize Amazon for a very long time, and we'll kind of have to see how that plays out.
All right, question number 3. Are there any negatives or positives of requiring workers to join a union when joining a job?
So no. There are no negatives, and this is what they call a closed shop. So that's basically once everyone in the workplace is automatically enrolled in the union, and unions actually fought very hard for a closed shop. I think for obvious reasons. Workers should automatically enjoy the benefits of being in the union, and so where that doesn't happen, it's called open shop, and that's what the right wing would love to happen, and it exists in the South a lot. So we should maintain closed shops. I mean, here's one thing you can say about open shops. And a friend of mine and mentor of mine worked for years as a federal employee with the Social Security Administration. And he was vice president of his union local. And they were actually an open shop. And the one thing it did was it forced the union leadership to constantly prove the union's worth and value to the members and constantly be in touch with them so they would voluntarily join the union. So in other words, they were kind of forced to be like, if we're going to survive, we got to be great organizers. So, I mean, that's one thing you can say about open shop. But the thing is, good union locals can be good organizers, even if the workers are automatically enrolled in the union. So I don't think we should, that's kind of a galaxy brain take to be like, well, closed shop forces you to organize more, so we should promote closed shop. That's the one thing you could say, but you can be a diligent organizer in a union even when workers are automatically enrolled. So the short answer is that I don't really see any downsides to closed shop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Well,
you should submit your hashtag labor Paul questions for the next episode, which Paul will be on, with Jen, not me.
And it's actually my birthday episode.
It is?
Yes. So,
oh man, I'm gonna miss your birthday episode.
Right. You can crash it in the comments.
Yeah, I think I will. I'll do tons of hashtag labor Paul questions in the comments for that one. Well, I think this is a good place to end. I loved talking to Richard Hooker. He was such a great guest to have. I really hope we can have him on the show again.
I think we should, if people, our audience should start a hashtag of Witcher 2024, get that going. So he's gonna hate me.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might not come on the show.
That's true. Yeah.
Instead, just send him videos of yourself singing gospel hymns.
Right. Yeah. He might also not come on the show after that, but whatever.
Yeah, this was a great episode. I hope everybody out there enjoyed it and you're staying safe in the cold if you're in the parts of America that were affected by that huge storm.